All right, December 26th, the day after Christmas. The day the magic doesn't even fade, you know? It just drops dead in the hallway and no one wants to talk about it. I know. Everyone pretends this is their favorite part, you know? Oh, I love the calm after Christmas. No, you don't. You look like a Victorian orphan who's just been told the factory is reopening tomorrow. Come on. There is no calm in there. There is maybe carbs, and maybe shame, and also confusion. You wake up in pyjamas you haven't taken off since the 24th, you know? And at these points, they are not pyjamas anymore. They are a lifestyle. And I know that, because I'm still wearing mine. And your hair? Come on, it looks like you slept in the wind tunnel. And your skin is 98% gravy. At least mine is. And I'm sure your first thought of the day was the same as mine. Never again. Which is a lie. A beautiful and comforting lie. Because we will absolutely do this again next year with enthusiasm. And yes, short episodes, more episodes. You know how it works by now. I'm your emotional support trash panda, here to guide you gently through the ruins of Christmas. And we are getting close to the end of this first season. A couple of more episodes, I think there are 2, and we reset. New year, new season. Well, the same voice, just with a different energy. Because I'm exhausted, you know? Christmas is exhausting, and December too. I'm sure you are exhausted too, so... But for now, let's inspect the damage. Alright, and how should we start this tonight? Maybe with the leftovers, you know? Oh my god, leftovers. Christmas leftovers don't exist, you know, they multiply. You go to the bed on the 25th thinking, well, okay, not too bad. And then you wake up on the 26th, open the fridge, and it looks like a haunted museum. Turkey, more turkey. Turkey in forms not approved by nature. Turkey now in a different color. Turkey looking back at you like it's telling you, come on, hit me. And suddenly leftovers become your entire personality. Breakfast, turkey. Lunch, turkey. Snack, turkey. And dinner, well, turkey, but emotionally rearranged. And you keep telling to yourself, well, I will stop when it feels wrong. Come on, mate. It already feels wrong. You're just committed by now. And then there's dessert. Half a cake, a pudding shaped like regret, cookies that look like they survived a small war. And you are there, staring into the fridge like it's judging you. Well, probably it is, because this is not about hunger anymore, you know. This is about closure. And while this is all happening, you finally look around the living room. Oh yeah. Oh no. The house looks like Santa broke in, got drunk and trashed the place, you know? Wrapping paper everywhere, bows in places bows should never be, boxes on top of boxes, on top of boxes, on top of boxes. Yeah. And there's always one bag in the corner, you know, empty. Just sitting there like he's thinking about his life choices. And then you find glitter in places glitter should never exist. Under the sofa, inside your sleeper, on the cot. Glitter is the virus of Christmas, I told you already. It spreads by breathing, you know? And then daylight hits the gifts. And it's the moment of truth. Because yesterday we were like, oh my god, I love it. But today you are standing there holding a mug shaped like a llama thinking, why the fuck do I own this shit? And yes, everything is just there lying around, exposed, like a sad little gallery of disappointments. And you don't even put the things away, I know. You just walk past them thinking, we'll deal with it later. Yes, you will. And then comes the real hangover, not from alcohol, from people, from being surrounded by humans for 48 hours straight. And I know you all introverts are in a recovery mode, and the extroverts are confused. But everyone's brain feels like a potato. Someone always sits on the sofa holding a cup of tea like a widow in a period of drama and goes, "Oh, Christmas is over." Babe, relax. It ended 8 hours ago. You are not in a Netflix special, come on. And this is where laziness fully takes over. December 26th is the International Day of No. No walking, no talking, no plans, no growth. You move around the house like a ghost looking for closure, Blanket on, sleepers on, judgment off. Standing feels ambitious, I know. Going outside feels like illegal. And putting actual clothes on feels like a personal attack, I know. And somewhere in the middle of all of these, the mess, the food, the exhaustion, you have an identity crisis. You look at the house, you look at the cows, you look at yourself, and your brain quietly asks, who am I now? And that's when it hits you, You have to clean. You have to tidy, and you have to deal with the crime scene that once was your living room. And then suddenly you miss Christmas again. And that is the post-Christmas Comedown. A beautiful, tragic, ridiculous hangover of food, emotion, and, glitter. It's not sad, but it's not happy. It's just human. But don't collapse yet, because the next episode drops on Monday. And we are talking about the Dead Week. I know, that weird limbo between Christmas and New Year, where time stops and no one will know what day it is. And the society collectively goes on a airplane mode. It's my favorite episode, and you will understand why. Until then, wear your pyjama, bring snacks, and bring your existential dread. It fits the theme. Uninfluenced, Unpaid, Unfiltered. I'm Jackman, and these are the holiday sessions of the Unfiltered Outsider.